Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the All You Can Talk podcast. Is this episode 6?
6.
This is episode 6. I am KIE5, joined by Reece Morgan as always, and we have a special guest today. Reece, do you want to introduce?
It's my mate Paul.
Right. No better way of introducing him.
No better way to introduce that. Been mates for a long time. My old manager.
Yeah.
Shouted at me a couple of times.
I have a question, actually, first off. What is Reece like to manage?
Well, as I'm wanting a lift home, because I've done my leg in, he's all right.
I can give you a lift home. Tell us.
Right,
Open the
Open
book
road.
there, mate. That's, one of the stories that I just remember, and I will bring this up straight away. I can remember, you used to have a favourite pen at work, right? And
Paul's pens.
Paul's pens,
pens,
right?
yeah.
It wasn't his pens, and he always used to have the same pen. And one day I thought he lost it. I thought, oh, the fuck with him. So I took the only thing were different. It had the metal piece in between the top of the pen and the bottom of the pen missing. So I took one out and I said, "Here's your pen." So anyway, he asked me. He says, "Is that the actual pen?" I went, "No." And he just stood up and fucking launched it at me and went, "I don't fucking want it then."
I have no recollection.
I fucking do. I do. He went,
Management
"It's
at
your
its
fucking
finest."
pen," and I'm like, "All right, nice."
I didn't realise I was that anal. But I bet there was no sharp ends on the pen, so we were all right.
We were all right. I didn't get my eye taken out. but no, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate. We're
Pleasure to be here.
excited. Not going to make any digs about the first one. I think that's long gone. We're not going to talk about missed podcasts. You want to lift on, so you've got to be good to me.
Many apologies for that.
Nah, you don't have to worry about it. We're all good. We're here now. We're good. And we're fine.
Nice.
What news have we seen this week, gents? And what's been happening?
Can I start talking about Keir Starmer?
Is this rant of the week, or is it...
If we're asking general chat, I've got a different rant of the week. But
Yeah.
if we're talking general chat,
We're going to talk about
Should we
NHS
talk
again.
about the desperation of Keir Starmer's speech in Scotland, blaming everything on reform, saying they're all
Far right, loonies.
far right Putin sympathisers,
Yeah.
and basically just copying and pasting reforms policies on foreign aid
Oh, don't
and
get me
military.
Don't get me
They're
started.
claiming it as their
It
own.
is literally common sense. Like, just stop foreign aid. Who gives a fuck? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. We'll need to end
After
it.
the last episode,
Nearly.
after the last episode, you can't say.
I am on a fine line at the minute. Paul hasn't seen any of the episodes yet 'cause he wants to come in quite blind. And I'd recommend it if you want a bit of a giggle and for you to go, you've not changed, Reece. Never think about that sort of stuff. But there we go. But yes, so what's been going on? And we're going to talk about the NHS now, again.
Yeah, so I'm obviously 58, which is way too old to be kicking a ball about with my son, but I took him for a kickabout, and in an hour into I should look at you as well, shouldn't I? I do apologise. An hour into the training session where I've been running around like I can say like a teenager, but I didn't run when I was a teenager. If I think about it.
Okay.
I just don't run.
An hour into it, we decided to take penalties at each other. So I took one with my non-kicking foot, my right foot, and it actually looked really poor. And my son, who's 12, saved it. He took one with his good foot, and I just watched it go past me because I'm not as mobile as I used to be. So I said, right, fair's fair. I'm going to take one with my good foot, which is my left foot. So I put the ball down.
So Roberto Carlos over here.
I do find that toe pointing it, because I don't have as much power in my legs anymore.
Yeah.
Toe pointing it does make a big difference.
You know, it's funny you say that. I play football with a load of guys, and there's someone around similar age to you who plays, and we call him toe poke.
Yeah.
Because every single goal he scores is a toe poke from about 30 yards. That's just going into the back.
It takes less effort.
Yeah.
I found that. So
Shout out to Rob.
Rob's listening to this, just like, I'm not old.
but before I could actually toe point into the goal, I just put the ball down, took a step, went to push back, then to obviously go forward with my right foot.
That's playing football. pushing back, not what you think.
Okay, it's not if you push back, unless you push back. And I heard a twang in my right foot, in the back of my right foot, just go twang. And I just obviously fell to the floor because I'm a bit of a wimp. And that was the training session over and done with. It's like,
I think anybody who's felt the twang in the leg has gone down like a wet sack of cabbage.
it was, it was interesting. Obviously, that's the pre-story to the fact that I gave it a couple of hours before I went to Mexborough, so minor injuries. Popped down there and they went, oh. They tested it and they said, I don't think it's your tendon at the back. It's probably your calf muscle that you might have ruptured. But they'll refer you to either, from here, you can either go to Barnsley, Doncaster or Rotherham. So choose Barnsley because nearer. And then they said they'll call you. So Monday, like, no call. Tuesday, lunchtime, I'm thinking, surely, this is quite urgent. I can't walk. I've got some crutches to get by. I can't drive. So I phoned them on Tuesday and speak to a person who I couldn't understand a word of what this person was saying. I literally struggled, but I could just make out that they're going to call me on Wednesday. Great, because it's urgent. Urgent.
Urgent and the NHS don't go in the same thing. If you put DAI in the same sentence, it might add a bit more.
I get it's struggling. The whole NHS is really struggling. I do understand.
Watch episode 5, mate. You'll realise it's not.
But,
No, it is. It's struggling for sanity.
But Wednesday, they'll call you Wednesday. Wednesday, come, gone. Still no call. So today, it's Thursday. I'm like, I'm going to phone them first thing in the morning. I thought, this is urgent. Someone's going to call me. Oh, yeah. Hang on, I'll just see if we've received anything from Mexborough. I'm like, what are they doing? Are they sending it by carrier pigeon or something?
Hedwig.
So someone did phone me. So I'm really pleased about that. And they've set up a telephone consultation for tomorrow at 9:30, which is Friday, which means we're going to talk about it, aren't we? We're going to say, oh yeah, it's all black. You've seen the photos, how black it is.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, you need to come in and see us, which will be Monday. That's over a week since this urgent thing has happened. Rant over. It's just
urgent.
Frustrating.
We were talking about this over the last couple of weeks, and we were talking about even something, obviously that is quite serious as well, but we were talking something even if you want to go higher up, like cancer waiting times. It's I got it wrong on the last podcast. It's actually 16 weeks for your first consultation.
For what? Sorry? What? For a cancer appointment?
Yeah. To get first consultation for treatment, 16 weeks on the NHS.
Wowee.
Is that if you're still around?
Yeah. If you're still around. Welcome to Rumble.
That's not Rumble worthy.
Did they send you a nasty letter saying you didn't make your first appointment? I'm sorry. Send it to the creme.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong.
Take it.
Just my leg. It's not cancer. Well,
yeah.
It's
they
not.
don't sell well.
But it's
still wrong.
It's just.
I think the fact,
bending at the seams, isn't it? It's creepy.
Can you imagine if it were a non-urgent, like a non-urgent?
Well, there's no point, because if you're going in for a cold, then
you'll be
over it by the time you go in.
Just say, I've just arrived in Dover.
It's like a doctor's appointment. You need to know that you're going to be ill 6 months in advance so that you can get in to get a doctor's appointment.
This is the thing though, you can't even book them in advance. Like the NHS, out of all their wisdom, haven't come up with an online booking system yet that actually works for anybody.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Do you know what? I've not got... Mine are locums, which essentially means it's a different doctor every time. Right, and I have to ring. It's like... It's literally like 100-metre sprint to whoever can get answered first.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're not Usain Bolt, you ain't getting an appointment that day. You could have a missing limb, and you ain't getting an appointment that day.
No, I know what you mean.
So
you have to wait by the foot, 8:30. I'm waiting by the phone. Then as soon as 8:30, boom, missed. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Just keep pressing it until you eventually get through.
Yeah.
And then they say they've all gone.
Yeah.
You're too late.
Yeah. I can remember one time, and I did actually apologise to her when I went for my ball cancer. I didn't have ball cancer. Test. What's it called?
When you went for your testicles checking.
Yeah, because I had a lump. Do get checked in a very serious matter if you do find things.
I think that lump was your penis. Just.
No, that's on his head.
Yeah, we can all talk about who wears glasses to keep the balls out of their
I
eyes.
like this. I've got a partner.
2 versus 1. Halfway through, I'm going to sit over there and attack you. Don't worry.
Yeah, but the woman's basically said it's 12 weeks. They've found an anomaly in your results. You can wait 12 weeks or you can ring tomorrow. And I'm like, can you just not book me an appointment tomorrow? Like, is it sure? Like, I've got a fucking lump, love. Like, I did shout a little bit, and you know me.
Yeah.
I don't get angry. And I just lost it. I just says, fuck off. And I was just like, I need an appointment. Like, fuck. So I rang the next day, and so I got an appointment. I was just like, what do you fucking do? I can't believe it. So anyway, guess which cunt missed his fucking appointment? So I missed the phone appointment. I rang back, and I'm like, can you ring back? Because I'm in a meeting. And he rung back, and he went, yeah, so I can't do the Indian accent. I'm not even going to attempt to it without sounding like, a racist. I poo him up a lepadongi. And basically, he says, you've got a couple of cysts on your testes. And I'm just like, oh, that could have gone in a fucking email. You know what I mean? It could have gone in an email or something. And I'm like, why scare me like that?
On the interest of data protection, I don't think you can send you've got a couple cysts on your testes over email.
Yeah, they can. Why not?
That's news I'd like to receive, at least I'd like to hear it, rather than read.
I'd rather read it and then just be like, I'm alright then. And just go back to bed or something. Do you know what I mean? Would you not agree?
You're a special human being.
I'm not a special human. My rant at week, we're going to go into it. I'll talk about news. You know,
right, before we get into it, rant of the week. So this is something we do every single week.
No, this is just general news, but it's going to turn into it.
This is rant of the week then. Whatever we're bothering us this particular week or this particular podcast film, we just have a nice rant about it, get it off his chest, have a little debate, see what
Paul
happens.
kind of did his with NHS, but I'm not going to go into that again because I did a fucking 40-minute segment on
So,
it.
Reece, since you're bursting at the seams, what is your rant of the week this week?
Mike Amesbury. Do we know who that is?
Not particularly.
He is a Labour MP, and he has been done for assault. Now, can you remind me? Can you remind me?
Is that the one who punched the...
Yes. Can you remind me?
He was drunk. The other guy was drunk.
Yeah,
wasn't
and he were on the floor. The video's been released. He's actually on the floor punching him.
Yeah,
full on.
Yeah.
What do you get imprisoned for some hurty words on Twitter? 3 years.
Is it for a year?
Yeah. Some people got 2-3 years. This guy got a suspended sentence for 2 years. He got 10 weeks in prison and suspended for arrest sentence. 10 weeks in prison for assaulting somebody. But if you say some hurty words against it, fucking... I can't. I'm not doing it, mate.
Don't say those words. Don't say those words.
I'm yeah. Just work for BBC and you can get away with out, to be honest.
This is ridiculous, isn't it? This is the thing.
That's what Jimmy said.
We're on about Jimmy. Oh, work for ITV if you're Philip Schofield. It's fine. I can call him out. Did you see his actual thing when he was like, "I'm not ashamed anymore." You groomed a kid, mate.
I don't think you were ashamed of it in the first place.
The thing is, and
to be fair, that kid's hair is amazing.
Oh,
this is very true.
Yeah. I ain't saying shit. But he basically said he was 16, and I'm like, it is legal, but I can see why he's been a bit like.
Well, so why are you so? And obviously, we are so annoyed about the fact that this is only a 10-week suspended prison sentence compared to 18 months. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Is it just simply because he works for the BBC? Is it because
No, it's just a Labour MP.
Does it lead into judicial? What's the word I'm looking for? Inconsistency. Yeah,
I don't think it's inconsistent. I just think he's a wanker. And the problem is, right? The problem that I have.
I saw the video. It's not good. The
problem I have with it all is still suspended with full fucking pay. Why can an MP is a representative of this country? Why he's such a fucking cunt waffle, man. I can't do it. And he's fat as well. That makes it even worse.
All right. Well, hang on. Talking on,
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
let's talk about rants. You were ranting about NHS. I'm not going to do it again. Go on, mate. I'll let you take over reins from this.
No, to be honest with you, mate, that's...
Have you had a steady week?
I have had a steady week, yeah. I've actually had a really good week.
It's had a wang.
I had one yesterday.
He hadn't got... No, I'm not going to say that.
I don't have them every day anymore. I'm getting up there.
To be fair, I did wonder what you were doing in the kitchen a few minutes ago. I
Just got to relieve a bit of tension, Paul, that's all. It'd be nice and relaxed.
Nice to meet you.
You don't know which hand you shook.
Oh, my word.
But
Trouble
my
is one
rant of the
cradle
week
balls and one...
is that about Keir Starmer's Scotland speech to the Scottish Labour Party, which I didn't think there was anything more tragic on planet Earth. But
I'll tell you what is tragic. Just the fucking Labour Party, man.
it's just it's the inconsistency of it all, and it's the belief of how stupid the public are that comes from these, because
I'm not saying that.
we're all, at the end of the day, we're all competent human beings. I know a few stupid people, but even they could point out.
I used to work with a few
the
that are
policies
incompetent.
that he's trying to claim as
Thanks.
trying to claim as his own are just reforms copied and pasted, trying to discredit all these and trying to blatantly lie to us, even though everybody can see what the real picture is. Everybody knows the real story. And I'd like to understand why politicians feel the need to lie blatantly to the public or spin things, when the main thing that would gain respect from any politician, and you've seen this with Farage, you've seen this with other people, is honesty and blatant honesty. Just to turn around and even ask the questions. You don't have to answer them, but ask the questions that everybody's on about. At the end of the day, the government is supposed to be for us. So the issues that we have should be brought up, not the other way around.
I can't wait to get in Parliament one day, mate.
Oh, mate, if you get in Parliament, I will watch PMQs every day.
every Wednesday.
Nah,
Wednesday,
then,
12:30. Nah, then, you fucking knobhead. Mr. Morgan, fuck off.
It's really annoying.
I think we need to bring back Oswald Mosley. I don't think you'll know who he is.
No.
British Union of Fascists.
Welcome to Rumble. That one's worthy.
I am
of it.
actually joking. I am taking the piss, if you didn't already recognise. This podcast is about taking the piss out of everyday news and taking the piss out of guests.
Thanks.
When they're not when they're not a 4-time kickboxing world champion.
Yes.
We've got a lot of other guest plans. Can't kick a football. So yeah, this podcast today has actually got a sponsor.
I know.
Can you believe it? H. Morgan's. Are you bored of your coffee? We've got some. And we're sponsored by them. So you can use a code. It is called AYCT10. And if you use that code, you get 10% off your first order. Not your second, not your third, just the first. And you'll be able to do it at h-morgans.co.uk. Thank you to them, me, for sponsoring this podcast, and Harrison for allowing us to do this. Have you tried it, boys? You haven't yet, have you?
I have not tried it, mate, no.
No?
I have not tried it. You've been sending me over a packet to do a social media ad for you for about 6 months.
That's it.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Right.
It's but no, we thank them for doing this. We thank everything, suppliers, everything like that. They've been absolutely fantastic. So go across to h-morgan.co.uk and get your coffee today.
I also have a sponsor.
Go on.
Also, I would like to announce officially, this is the first time ever this has happened in Barnsley, Rhythm and Bars. This is the show that myself and Over the One Promotions are putting on at Vault 27 in Barnsley on Friday the 21st of March. We're going to have a couple of rappers, couple of R&B artists on, free entry, 16 plus, just bring ID if you want to drink at the bar. And yeah, it's going to be unbelievable. Come down to Barnsley's first ever hip hop and R&B night. Get yourselves there and you'll see me perform, and let's face it, I'm amazing. So yes, that's the sponsors this week.
There we go. Right, so we've also got a guest on. We haven't asked him much anyway.
We haven't
asked him. And there is some stories that we cannot tell yet. Just yet.
Wait till we get a
Patreon.
Get there.
we'll get a PG one, get you on another one that you can't tell people that you're on, so we know to release it and not. Yeah. You went travelling, and I find this countrywide since you told me you were in an RV and you just went travelling one day.
Yeah.
And you sold up and just went travelling across Europe.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
That's brilliant.
Where did that come about? How did it come about, and why? Like, what happened?
So I've always wanted to travel. I've always wanted.
Didn't think that.
Yeah, just as well, really. Yeah. I was the partner at the time. We talked about maybe doing one of those round the world trips. Flights. So you could, as long as you go in one direction. And I've never bought their music anyway. But as long as you do that, you can do it for X amount of money. It was reasonably cheap. But the partner moved in, and life kind of got in the way, and we never got to do that travelling thing. So then I thought about, so I'm from Coventry, don't hold it against me.
I like Coventry, to be fair.
Most people get sent to Coventry, I've come the other way for some reason. Don't know why that is, but I decided that rather than get the flight, it might be a good idea just to sell up and use the equity that I'd built up in the house in Coventry, get a motorhome and just
took off.
Just go. And that's what we did.
It's just, can you imagine having that balls to do that?
No, that really does take some balls.
I was currently consulting at the time, so I had to find them someone else to look after them.
Can you
make
imagine
sure they were all right? But
this would have been. So where did you go? Which country did you visit?
All of them. In obviously Western Europe.
North Korea.
Western Europe. I'll chuck you an atlas. Don't worry. So we went France, and then we kind of went anti-clockwise.
Okay.
So we headed down to Paris, Epernay, and then moved across.
Yeah.
Just.
There is actually, I don't know if it's still live, but didn't you have a website that literally documented it all?
Yeah. But that is now dead. It's been a long time. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did give me something to do while I was. We had up days where we explored and spent money, but in order for the money to last, we had to have some down days, obviously. So yeah.
I mean, chilling, just watching. I'd just park anyway. Just park at the side of the mountain, just watch it all night.
That's
insane.
Amazing. It was like I cannot. If you get the chance to do it, most people wait until they're retired.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to do something, and they'll spoil it by dying.
Yeah, it's very true.
And guess what? The NHS can't save you. It's urgent though.
It won't be urgent. They'll be sending them letters saying, "Why haven't you made your appointment?" In 5 weeks' time. I'd say as a trip, it was. You've got to realise when you come back, you've got to start. I had that equity, so I was already a few rungs up on the ladder of life.
Okay.
When you come back, you have to realise you're back at ground zero.
Yeah.
And you have to start again. But if I had my life again,
I'd do it again.
Do the
no
trip.
regret.
Do you have a favourite place that you visited?
I love Berlin.
Berlin. I've heard some very good things about Berlin.
I love the German drinking culture.
Me, it goes out to you.
They like a good beer, but they don't particularly act like dickheads when they've had a beer.
No.
So
sounds like people
great.
from
In fact, German. I've met a couple of German people. They are very straight and narrow, aren't they? They are they're very in control of themselves. A lot of the times I've found.
but amazing. So like the people. So you're warned off, aren't you? Everybody will say, "Don't go to France. The French hate you. The French absolutely hate you." They don't. They treated us amazingly, and so did the Germans. So we'd go and find. I wanted to see all the big cities as much as possible.
Okay.
So the first thing you do, I'd got a European book that like a Dorling Kindersley, all about Europe thing to travel. But once you'd got there, you needed to check out the tourist information. So once you found that, then you'd come away with an up-to-date map, and then you'd start saying where in Germany, as soon as we've got this map open, you'd get people coming up to you in perfect English to say, and ask you if you need help. Where are you going? Can I help you? It's like amazing.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think then they nick your wallet, but no.
I think there's a lot to be said about that, especially when they speak perfect English. Because as an Englishman, and listening to other English people when they go to visit foreign countries, we're so arrogant about English language.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't learn any other. It's like you need to speak English.
Well, people just ordering a drink, for example, thinking to speak. So.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the
What,
word.
a pint of Carling
so,
Cocker?
Drinko.
Yeah.
Or beero.
I swear that's why we were treated reasonably well in France. I don't speak French. My it's just like is really minimal. But just things like, do you have an English menu? Obviously speaking in French, you probably can't remember what it is. Good evening, hello, or goodbye, or 2 beers. That's a nice easy one in whatever language. I just found that even if you ask for in France, if you're even in Paris, you ask for an English menu, it usually comes with the equivalent in French.
Oh yeah.
So we would try and read the French version back.
I think if you try and make an effort,
Yeah,
I think
100%.
they respect it.
They just laugh at you because it's really bad.
Yeah.
So, but I
think it does help.
Kind of broke the ice a little bit.
No,
Yeah,
you're right about that in Paris. I remember when I went with school, I managed to wangle myself on the French trip. I didn't take French, but I managed to wangle myself on it somehow. And we were in Paris, and I was the only one out of everybody in the class who asked when we were at the Eiffel Tower. We were getting a drink from a drink stand. And I asked the French teacher, I said, how do you say this in French? So I just ordered a bottle of water in French. And he was so polite to me, he gave me another bottle. Said, there you go, for asking in French, here's a free bottle. And like, your French is a bit poor, but you're getting there.
I think they just. I think it's just a bit of respect. You're in someone else's country, and give them that respect.
So we give them free benefits and free care.
Enjoyable. Oh yeah.
Wow. Never change.
Keeping this podcast PG, and then Reece is like, let me try and make this as racist as possible.
Yeah, I need to stop, don't I?
No, you're the virality of this podcast.
Do you think?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't know, I can't say that. Yeah, my gaffer asked about it today, to be fair.
Which gaffer?
My new one.
Oh, not the cigar one.
Where's it? Nah, he's long gone.
There's a story there, Paul.
I think there's a few. Yes, I think there's a few.
He's tied to an NDA right now.
3 more fucking months.
There's a good podcast coming out in about 3.5 months.
3 months. Suck my. But anyway, yeah, I think.
Is that with or without the cysts?
Does it add a bit of volume?
No, they hurt, mate. They did. They don't now, but they did.
But I thought it was a good thing. I think Mo Salah has had loads of assists.
Oh, that was a shit joke.
I'm a dad. I'm allowed.
Dad jokes.
That's it. But coming back, I think it's definitely about respect in terms of going to other people's countries. Because if you go to literally any and you try, it don't even have to be, like I said, don't have to be good. Just try. And I'd recommend that to anybody. I'm going to Tenerife in October. Damn right, I'm going to have a go.
Thank you.
What, mate?
Mr. K, thank you.
I'm going to actually have a go at speaking Spanish. I can't speak a lick of Spanish. You know what I mean?
Poco, small.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that'll get you by.
Next.
Paella as well.
You're not funny.
Paella.
Paella.
2 L's or a J.
Paella.
That's the same as when Jose Mourinho were like, is it Jose or Jose?
I understand what you're on about though with the respect thing. I remember when I was seeing a girl from Albania.
Oh, we spoke. To be fair, going back into that, I wish I spoke Moldovan.
That's a nice little time. We were having a conversation. You teach me a bit of Albanian, and I said to her, if we were together for a very long time, I would make the effort to learn Albania. She's like, why? Because you would never be able to speak your own language in your own house. And I couldn't imagine what that'd be like.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that respect thing and just, learning. I mean, we try and expand his mind as much as possible, but I've never thought to learn another language.
I tried learning Russian and that just went horribly wrong. Can't even read it.
God, you already get called a Putin sympathiser online. You
I've
learn
been called
Russian,
that
you're getting
several
called
fucking
in.
times. Do you know the thing? The thing is, I've been called a Putin sympathiser twice, right? And the other day, I got called a Hitler sympathiser. But where the fuck that come from? I don't know.
Well, did you tweet "I love Nazis" or?
No, it was his SS uniform he was wearing. He looks good with that peak cap.
You thought it was a captain's armband, didn't you?
But essentially, all I said was that.
You got it.
All I said, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it. I'm being it's a serious podcast. But all I said was that in the beginning, he did bring in some good policies for Germany. But what the fuck?
Oh
but
my God.
I didn't. But
I want you to look up the definition of sympathiser.
I'm not saying that. It was a nasty piece of work.
Which policy in particular, Reece? Let's go down the rabbit hole.
Well, look at when marks, it was like 100,000 marks to buy a loaf of bread, for example, after we absolutely fucked them at Treaty of Versailles in 1918. Their economy were crushed. They couldn't have 100,000 men in their army, couldn't have an air force, couldn't have a navy. So jobs were nowhere. So what he did was rebuilt the entire infrastructure of Germany, which created jobs, which made
With
the
tanks.
economy...
And boats. And
Yeah.
like Navy. And
Yeah. He reclaimed certain territories that were German.
Poland?
They were.
Was that German?
Actually, this is the reason why he wanted. The reason what he wanted was the port, what we call Port of Danzig, to connect East Prussia with actual German mainland. Not saying he had a right to it. He thought he did. That's how it started. If you want an history lesson, I can give you it. But he helped the economy. He built it back up into an absolute powerhouse. You can't deny it. He was still a cunt. A nasty word. but he revitalised the economy. He was still a nasty piece of work and deserved everything that came to him. But you can't deny that he turned Germany into powerhouse.
Oh, they were formidable opponents, I'll give him that.
The thing I struggle with, he's Austrian.
Yeah.
That really blows my mind. Like,
Yeah, he was. And do you want to know a fun fact that's going to make you not laugh? But his mum was actually going to have an abortion, and her doctor convinced her not to have an abortion, and his doctor was Jewish.
and was it his name Goring?
I can't. No, it wasn't. I don't believe
just
so.
thought, yeah.
So yeah, that's a little fun fact.
That's a funny turn of events, isn't
Fun
it?
fact. Yeah, and Hitler spared him. Funnily enough.
Not
Yeah.
all Jews are equal, I guess.
That-
Moving on.
There was definitely some tumbleweeds running across the room there.
So anyway, there's a couple more stories that I'm really interested in. A couple that we can't tell, but one in particular was you were on holiday on a beach, and I believe was it Turkey or Greece?
Turkey was a great holiday.
And you went with some friends, if I remember right.
No, went on my own.
Yeah, and there was I don't believe you did, if I remember right on the story.
No, I went to sea. So, right.
Yeah. So basically, you went in a cubicle.
Let me.
That one.
Right.
Get ready for this.
It's a big story. So I had a lady who used to work for me.
Okay.
And she went to Turkey for a holiday, fell in love with a Turk, and then spent her summer out in Turkey. Winter, she'd come back to work for us because she had a set of skills that all the guys in our particular work
Sure
were
she
after.
did.
So, obviously, she said, "When are you coming out to see us? When are you coming out to see us?" And I thought, single? Why not? What could possibly go wrong? So booked a flight. There's a story there. You might want to with Virgin.
Yeah.
Elaborate. You can go for it.
Go for it. Go for it all.
Go for it.
The whole holiday was just mad, completely mad. So you book a flight only. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to stay with my friend. Her name's Amber. Hi, Amber.
How we name dropping?
That's allowed.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. Her husband is Murat, so
Of course it is.
they live in Birmingham now. Anyway, so behave. So I booked the flight with Virgin, and that was great. And then I phoned them up because I needed really a transfer from the airport to Marmaris, and Virgin said, "No, we don't do that. You fly only."
Okay.
So I thought, how am I going to do that? Do I get a taxi or whatever? While I was talking to the woman in customer service, Virgin, she said, "Well, why don't you ask all the passengers on the flight what they're doing and see if you can share?" I'm like, did I really just hear you say that? So I actually repeated it back to her and said, so let me get this right. You want me, complete stranger to probably everyone else on that plane, to bother them and ask them how they're getting from one place to another, and can I just tag along?
That's an inside joke. I love that.
So she went, yeah. So I went, you got to be kidding. I can't do that. That's not fair on your other passengers. How can you tell me to do that? So that conversation sort of like pelted out. And so I contacted Amber to say, I've tried, I can't get. She says, don't worry, we talked to some of the reps down here. We'll get it sorted for you. So I said, great. On the plane, off the plane, looking at my text, who am I going for? Oh yeah, Amber sorted it with the Virgin coach. So I ended up getting the transfer with Virgin anyway, free of charge, because they just bummed me on the coach.
What the hell?
And I thought, if that's the start of the holiday, this is going to be out there. So this is in the day when you could get, with the pound. Their economy's a bit shocking. It still is, to be fair. But you could get...
Offended countries, welcome.
You can get drunk for £1, almost, because they were in millions of lira. So it's like almost Hitler territory with the wheelbarrows for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
So, the first night I was there, what happened? We went down to Marmaris front. So first night, I hadn't got a clue really where the hotel was. I was with the Amber, Murat, a few others. We're at the front, and you're a bit jet lagged and what have you. It's been a long day. And I can remember being at the bar, and there was this Russian lady who looked very pretty. She was very nice.
Oh. And
they literally pushed me, not onto her, but onto the table, and said, right, go, chat to her, and left me. They left me at the bar. I'm like, so I'm having a very awkward conversation with this. I'm drinking enough, and in the end she gets up and goes, and I think, well, it's probably time to go myself. I go to the doorway and think, I haven't got a clue where the hotel is. What the hell do I do? I had no idea.
Did it before mobile phone, I'm guessing?
Yeah, but I probably didn't have contact.
Yeah, no contact, yeah.
I don't know, that's a good question. Did I have a mobile phone? I may not have done. I was pretty much
because in this day and age, you just look it up, don't you?
And before you asked, the plane was a jet. Like it didn't have propellers, just so you know.
He didn't fly on an eagle.
No. So, it's dark, obviously. It's like early morning. And I look out, because it's on the beach front. I look out, and all the sunbeds have got all the padding on. What do you call it? The actual material and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought, do you know what? It's not raining. It's quite warm. So I thought I'll just lie on it. And obviously I must have just gone to sleep. So the next morning, the sun is like right in my eyes. And I'm really
hungover as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, oh, no. And I swear, right next to me, so of all the sunbeds that are on the beach, like loads of empty ones because it's early morning. Right next to me, there's a woman putting a suntan lotion on, ready for the. I'm like, if I was you, I wouldn't be right next to some kind of hobo who's like spent the night sleeping on the beach. So I was like, I thought, right, it's daytime. I'll try and find the hotel. So I had an idea where it was. It took a while, but I eventually found the hotel. And literally when I walked in, they're all laughing and pointing at me, going, ah. You've seen the In-Betweeners movie.
Yeah.
You know when Jay sleeps on the by the well?
Yeah.
He gets bitten to...
Yeah.
My face was covered. So I think the mosquitoes must have had a field day. I thought, got you.
Tony! Got one.
So that was that. I got back just in time because Amber, back in those days, you had a visa. If you worked there, you had to leave the country and then come back.
I believe it's still the same, yeah.
And pay, it used to be $5, I think, or $10. So you still have to do it. They know that you're just leaving and coming back. So that day, we were supposed to be going to Rhodes on the ferry across from Marmaris, so she could redo her visa. It was like non-stop. So apparently, one of the guys that were in the hotel was or did try to come and look for me. And he glanced eyes with another guy, and that was it. That was his night sorted. What about me? Well, like, thanks. So then we go to
Them Turks.
then we go to Rhodes. Yeah. Well, I think they
bat a lot both ways. Then
they do cut both ways. I was thinking of a Gloria Estefan song.
They're not particularly phased by age either.
Well, they are a certain. No, I'm not saying that.
I think, I think a lot of gay people go to Turkey for that. I'm not speaking out of term. I'm not being.
When did you go, Reece?
The worst bit, I was actually, I was talking to one of the lads at work, and he was just like, one at old job about 6 months ago, and like, he was going to Turkey this year. I'm like, is it good? Is it good? He's like, yeah, you should go. So we're planning on not this year, next year, quit to Turkey. So that just puts it in perspective that I might be queer.
Might be. Just check.
Yeah, I suck balls.
We don't have to push back.
We don't. It's only gay if you push back.
Anyway,
so we go on this ferry. It's a long day. It's a long drinking day. I've had more than enough. So for the two nights, I'm then at the bar, and feeling probably a bit delicate, and I go to get up, thinking, right, it's had enough now. And I thought, oh, my legs don't seem to be working. Phone the NHS, no, don't bother, because you won't get in touch with them for another week. So they both had to, and I've not been, I've had, my oldest child is 16, and neither one of them have seen me drunk, so I don't drink a great deal anymore. And they kind of got me to I was on the sofa in their room. So great trip, just had to find money for the flight. And then I woke up in the morning, my face was covered in blood. And you may not know because you may not drink yourselves. When you think, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do last night? Did I get into an altercation? Did I have a disagreement with someone? I was literally covered in blood. And then I looked at the wall. So the sofa, where the sofa was, I looked at the wall. It was Artex wall. And all I could see was my face still on this Artex. So I must have been, tossing and turning. And it was quite sharp. So that was the second night. So that was
What an holiday!
People in the hotel must have thought, oh my God. So, obviously, being with a Turkish guy and my friend Amber, you got to see a bit more of the country. Marmaris is great. It's very commercial, very commercialised. but we got to see a little bit more of the countryside.
Of course.
Got to spend a night with Murat's parents. So we went, so just north of Marmaris is a place called Mula, however you pronounce it. That's where he's from. So we went there for an evening, and it's great. But coming out of the beaten track, sometimes your belly doesn't adjust as well as what it should do.
Oh God.
So by the time we've gone to see the parent, we're talking 3, 4, 5 days in. I think I was there for 2 weeks. So 5 days in, I've got, they used to call it deli belly. So I've got.
You feel that in Britain when you have a kebab, to be honest.
Can do, some places. Yeah. We're talking eye of the needle stuff. It's like, and it's like, and we've got to go to your parents. You sure? Yeah. Then I'll take you to a beach that only Turks go to. So I thought, okay. So I'm sat there a bit uncomfortable. I've had to go to the toilet while I was there. And you think, oh God. And you think, it's very quiet out there. Please tell me they can't actually hear this dripping like rain thing. Please. So I get by. They were absolutely lovely. It was great to meet them. Good to see somewhere where you wouldn't normally get to see, just, spending it on the seafront in Marmaris. And then the next day we all get to go to this beach that only these Turks go.
I think that's adding on from earlier. It's cool when you see actual places that actual citizens live, not the touristy bits of countries.
Yeah, that's the bits.
The actual places where actual
they're the
Turks
bits you should search out.
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's 10 times better.
Because you find authentic culture there rather than commercialised. And
I get it's great to have a drink and party and what have you, but get to see some of the actual proper place.
Yeah, Danny, you've said that, haven't you?
So, still got a bit of a dodgy tummy, and we're going to this beach. And as we're going down, it's quite. It wasn't open. We walked past a restaurant here. There weren't a lot there, to be honest, but a lovely beach and a lot of Turkish people. So we're on the beach, and I'm going, guys. I probably need a toilet.
Sharpish.
Yeah.
Defcon 1.
yeah. And it's like beach, sea. Don't want to. It's a lovely place. I didn't want to mess it up. No pun intended. So he says, and I don't know whether they all say this. But they said my uncle owns that restaurant. Go there. They've got 2 toilets, so you'll be all right. And by this time, I'm kind of doing a bit of a jig. I'm feeling like
you're clenching a little bit.
I've got to, yeah. And when you've got diarrhea, clenching don't do it for you.
No.
So I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. It looked closed. Will it be all right? He said, yeah, they're outside. Don't worry. Just go in. Just use them. You'll be fine. So I'm going, oh God, yeah. So I'm running best I can. I've only got flip-flops on because I've got beachwear, trunks and a t-shirt. I'm kind of moving quicker now. It's like I'm getting there. So I get to this it was closed, this restaurant, and there's 2 doors. So I'll just go in the right hand one. And then I'm looking and I'm thinking, oh no. It's a European toilet. Do you call them European toilets?
Oh, just a hole in the floor.
Just a hole in the floor. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to go. And I'm then thinking in your head very quickly, I'm worried about splashback. There's going to be splashback. What do I do? So I take my trunks off. I'm holding my trunks. I'm going, and by this time, I've got to go. So I'm there, I'm crouched, and I'm like relieved. And I'm like going, oh, fantastic! I can't believe it. There's a bit of splashing. It's bare feet and flip-flops. I'm sure the sea will get rid of that. I'm good. And I'm like, finally finished. And then I look for the toilet paper. And then I'm looking for the toilet paper. There's no toilet paper. So I'm crouched. I've got my trunks in my hand. And all I can see is a tap.
Oh.
A tap? Well, I mean, that's no good to me. What am I going to do with a tap? So, trunks go to a different hand. And I'm like, water, hand. I've got nothing else.
Oh.
I'm going to use my trunks because I need to wear them when I'm out there.
Of course.
I was like, still just like, shorts. I'm like, the water. Oh, just rub it. I had no idea what else to do. It was like, yes. So I feel like I'm a bit clean, but I could still be cleaner. I put the trunks on, and I'm out there. Murat and Amber are lying on the beach. I'm way past them. I'm straight in the sea. I'm like, I need that water. And I'm like, oh no, bother. So I'm like cleaning up again while I'm in the sea. So it was a horrendous experience. So we come back and it's literally it's time to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm telling them the story. Why were you in the sea so long? Because I've got shit all over my hands. To be fair, I don't bite my fingernails anymore, but that's
Oh, no.
So I'm telling them the story and like that. And I'm just about finishing the story as we've got to the restaurant that's closed.
Yeah.
I'm going, the toilet, man, the toilet. And he says, are you stupid? And he pushes over the left-hand door and said, why didn't you use that? And there was a proper toilet roll. There was even a sink to wash my hands.
Oh,
I'm going,
it's that,
oh my God.
It's that deep desperation and that rush in it. And sometimes the Lord just likes to play tricks, doesn't it? Life just likes to play tricks on you like that.
I don't think the story would be as bad if Murat didn't open the door and go, there's a fucking normal toilet here.
Yeah. I was not impressed.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's killed me off.
Oh,
I can't do it.
I didn't realise we're nearly at an hour, boys.
Yeah, it is.
This
it
is
We're
going to have to wrap this up, aren't we?
We're going to have to wrap this up. I've got a couple of questions. It's just...
Yeah, we can do some questions.
I think there's one question that I wanted to ask everybody that we get on. And it were on the second episode we introduced this. 3 people you'd have dinner with, dead or alive. It's a simple one, everybody asks it, but I just think it's a nice one to end on.
Oh, there's a question.
Bearing in mind, I chose Patrick Bet-David, Donald Trump, and Margaret Thatcher, and he got up and nearly slapped me.
Because of Margaret Thatcher, I walked out.
She's not very popular in this area. Obviously, not being from this area, but I obviously know how she devastated the mines and what have you.
Yeah.
Previous to living in Hemmingfield, I lived in a mining village. It used to be. She's not. She doesn't. No.
There is a couple of questions because I remember.
I believe I chose. Was it Bugsy Malone? Not the play, the rapper. Jordan Peterson and George Best. Yeah, they were my 3.
Yeah. There is a couple of questions I need to ask you because there's another one that Kieran asked me and
that's the one I'm thinking of.
So this one, what do you believe the meaning or purpose of life actually is? And you can make it personal too if you want.
The meaning of life is to reproduce, isn't it?
Valid.
So someone put on Let's Get It On right now. down.
That's why I went to Turkey. No, scrub that.
Forget wrapping up, kids. Just have as many as you want. Have them all.
Right, as many as you want, kids. What audience do you think we've got?
Listen, Gary Glitter didn't realise it was illegal in that country.
Oh, so, that was his excuse, weren't it?
Yeah.
It's grim.
You're missing the point, mate. 14 ain't right.
No.
Feet touch floor.
She said she was 12. But yeah. So you think just reproduce, isn't it?
Well, that is for
literally
every animal, surely.
Yeah, I like that answer because it's simple, isn't it? We were all about this like you got to make your legacy and all this. Just shag.
Well, yeah, you've got to have children with the right person.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. Just in case they're listening. So, all right, kids.
So three people, mate.
3 people, gosh. I'm not into politics particularly, never have been. So it wouldn't be anyone political. I've seen a film on Winston Churchill though. That was quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I think he would speak his mind a little bit.
Got some banging cigars as well.
Have you smoked on it?
What, Churchill? I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
It tastes like victory.
Probably a chef or someone like that. Ramsey might be a bit of a chuckle.
Yeah.
Because he used to play a bit of football as well, didn't he, in his day? So Gordon Ramsay. And Dawn, who I'm currently seeing. There you go.
Oh, that's a lovely one.
I will play the in love card. There you go.
There you go. That's a lovely one. I think that's the best place to end it, mate. I think we've pretty much covered. We will have you on again because you've been great.
It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure.
There's been a lot of planning into this. 4 years we planned this. 4 years ago.
Oh, we talked about it. Yeah,
we talked about it. And we were actually made it a thing. We got there. We'll definitely.
In about a year, when we have a Patreon set up and we're behind we've got exclusive episodes behind the paywall. We'll have to get you on for a couple of these behind the paywall.
Yeah, definitely. The stories that we can't tell.
Yeah.
There are a few of those
that aren't suitable for YouTube, Liz.
Yeah. So we're gonna have Paul on again.
Been great.
Do you want to wrap it up, mate?
Yeah, so this has been the All You Can Talk podcast. So we've been here with Paul today. There's his first guest. You have broke our guest virginity, so thank you very much for that.
Welcome.
Good decision.
You can find us all, Danny will put it down here, at ayct.official. That is on Instagram, TikTok and X now. And also we've got the new logo up with me and Reece looking better than we do in real life, which is disappointing.
I still think we look like Resident Evil 2 characters, mate.
We do
back in like 2006 graphics.
I look a bit like a FIFA pro, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
So you can find us all up there. Make sure you subscribe to us.
Can
like
I
the
make
post.
just one thing? What do we always say, mate? We might disagree. We might have a little debate. But in the end, we're always friends.
We are always friends. Yes.
Cheers, guys.
Yes, we are. Thank you very much. See you later.
This is All You Can Talk.
Bye-bye.
Peace.